Okay, so the creator of Naruto just recently released the first chapter of his new series, Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru. Now, if you want, you can check out my review, link in the description below. It's a very, very fascinating first chapter. That's the best way to sum up my thoughts on it. It honestly was just like something very different for Shonen Jump, especially considering everything we've had prior to this point when it comes to Shonen Jump, battle series. Like, it seems as though for especially a sci-fi one, it's a very different thing. But one of the big pieces that we get out of this interview that we're going to be talking about, that Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto and now the creator of the new series Samurai 8, is he gives a little bit of insight into how long this series is going to be, and it's very telling, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. But I ain't gonna lie, this interview, it's hype. I believe it was taking place just before the chapter came out at a press conference, but it's getting me even more excited to see a little bit more insight into the man behind the series Naruto and kind of his thought process and the way he's maneuvering moving forward with this series Samurai 8. Let's jump into it. Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like... Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I am really hyped about Samurai 8 right now. It looks like it's going to be a very different tone. It seems as though if you look at it thematically, almost like chapter 1 covered essentially everything that Naruto really did in a broad stroke. Obviously, I'm not saying every single detail. There's 100,000 chapters, like, no, not 100,000, but there's 700 chapters of Naruto. So I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, it outdid Naruto by any means before people get all stirred up. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it seems as though it moved past the boy's journey when it comes to what Naruto was, because that was, there was many different things to it. There was him trying to save Sasuke, all of that stuff, but the meat and bones of it is boys coming of age and trying to understand things, the mistakes Naruto made along the way to become the man he is today. So thematically, the way Samurai 8's first chapter was done, again, if you want, you can check out my full review on it, because if you really look at it, the beginning of chapter 1 of Samurai 8, the main character is kind of like this disabled robot that has to be plugged up. By the end of it, the theme completely changes, and he went through all that you would expect a shonen hero to go through, which that's what you would think, right? Starting off like, okay, he's gonna have to somehow, but spoiler alert, he's not going to be hooked onto those things forever. I don't want to spoil Samurai 8's first chapter because I do recommend you check it out, but yeah, it's kind of passing all of that stuff, and it's kind of going to move forward with the science fiction realm. But I'm just really excited. So let's see what Masashi Kishimoto had to say regarding Samurai 8. Naruto creator Masashi Kishimoto held a press conference at Shueisha in March to share information about the upcoming Samurai 8 Hachimaru Den manga, which will be written by Kishimoto and drawn by Akira Okubo, which we should definitely get more familiar with the name Akira Okubo, because at the end of the day, Samurai 8 is not like Naruto anymore. It's not that it's just Kishimoto on his own. He's in a duo now with this Akira Okubo person, so we really got to start moving forward also giving this person credit, especially if there's like some really beautiful pieces. I even seen I believe it was like a storyboard that Okubo actually recreated, because Masashi Kishimoto, it seems as though he's even drawing it pencil wise, the manga, and then handing it over and letting everything else be done, because manga is a process. It doesn't just start off with, hey, I got my marker and let me draw it up. You start off with pencil, and then you got to have people that trace it, and it's a very long process, unless they're doing it all digital, which I'm imagining they want to do it in the digital era, and I'm not sure if Masashi Kishimoto ever adapted, to be honest with you. I think that was one of the reasons that he complained as well towards the end, that he was still liking the old-fashioned style. I could be mistaken, and I could be confusing him with another author, but I believe Masashi Kishimoto was still a fan of the old tradition, so maybe this allows him an outlet to be able to draw with the pencil, old-fashioned way, not have to use a tablet, and then allow Okubo to adapt it into, what manga is standardized like. So that's kind of interesting. Kishimoto began talking about Naruto, which he launched in 1999 and completed in 2014. After completing the Naruto the 7th Hokage and the Scarlet Spring side story manga in 2015, Kishimoto said that he finally felt as if he had been released. "I got so tired that I lost the energy to draw manga," he said with a laugh. However, even though he had been working on manga for long enough to see a child grow into an adult, it just took 2 years for him to think, I want to draw manga again. So let's go back a little bit, because there's a couple of interesting things that you can note from this little paragraph right here. For starters, he immediately, and sadly, until Samurai 8 proves everyone otherwise, or another series that he creates, he's always going to have to go back to Naruto whenever it comes to these things. Anytime we get Jump Festa, like when we get the next Jump Festa and Samurai 8 is there, Kishimoto is going to be there, of course, and he's going to once again bring up Naruto, promote Boruto, because, you know, he's a part of that. Masashi Kishimoto, it's not like he's just a mangaka and aspiring to be, you know, he's a very, very big part of manga history at this point. You know, Naruto is one of the biggest selling of all time, and it changed a lot of people and stuff like that. So going to the sentence where he says, "I got so tired that I lost the energy to draw manga," he said with a laugh. You could possibly say, yeah, maybe that's why the 4th grade Shinobi War was very, very highly criticized. A lot of people had a lot of issues with it. Maybe at that point he really had just given up hope. And then on top of that, you know, of course, we get to Madara, and after that, it was kind of like, whoa, Kaguya. So Madara, and anyway, you get what I'm saying. I think it was a lot of the strain on him, and then on top of that, the powers that be pushing him, because you could see that they was not letting this franchise die. They're gonna have Boruto go on to a time skip, and then probably after that, they'll either let the series cool down for a bit and bring back a new spin-off. Naruto's not going anywhere, though. The video games make a lot of money. The franchise is still very big and a legacy, and yeah. He said that it took him 2 years, but it wasn't even that. If I'm not mistaken, let's go back, because it was at the end of 2014 that Naruto had ended. And by, I want to say it was end of 2015. I could be mistaken, and it could be end of 2016, but I'm pretty sure it was end of 2015. Masashi Kishimoto already had announced that he was creating Samurai 8. So there's a discrepancy right there. It just took 2 years for him to think, I want to draw manga again. No, in 2015, he already had announced that he was working on this sci-fi series, and there was talks of which app it was going to go to. So that's kind of, I don't know, was he caught up there, or what's going on here? Or maybe it could have taken him 2 years to really commit to this. Maybe that's what he's referring to. Maybe he started off wanting to do this in 2015, but he still needed another year before he was really convinced and committed to, okay, I'm gotta go back on the manga grind. And who knows how long he's been working on this then. If you think about it, if he's saying that 2 years, so the minimum 2 years he really started in on this, because he announced in 2015, so 2 years after 2014, end of 2016, he started working on this. So he's had time. I may have felt like I poured everything into Naruto, but in my heart, I knew it wasn't perfect, and that tugged at me. Around the time I ended Naruto, I felt the way to draw manga had finally clicked in me, so I wanted to channel that into my next work. So he says, I may have felt I poured everything into Naruto, but in my heart, I knew it wasn't perfect. I mean, yeah, I think one of the things that you could argue is that maybe the criticism of Naruto is what got to him. Maybe if Naruto was perfect, quote unquote, and, you know, universally loved, Masashi Kishimoto would have lost the drive to keep going. Maybe that's a valuable lesson in Masashi Kishimoto's life, that if he would have just either ended it before a point, because a lot of people argue they should have ended it before the war shouldn't have been that long, so if Kishimoto was tired by then maybe he should have ended it sooner. I don't know if he could have. So again, the fact that it was imperfect, and now he has the opportunity where he's like, yo, I'm an OG now, bro. Y'all ain't telling me what to do, nothing. I'm drawing. I'm gonna have, no, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have that dude right over there. You see that motherfucker? He been rocking with me for an ill minute. He's going to draw it. I'm gonna write it, and that's how we moving forward, baby. Also, it confirms as well when he says, around the time I ended Naruto, I felt the way to draw manga had finally clicked in me, so I wanted to channel that into my next work. So again, probably he was having troubles with adjusting to going from just strictly drawing, because when I started reviewing a lot of this stuff, if I'm not mistaken, they were still using means of like drawing it on paper and scanning it. And I'm not sure if they still do that or not, because I do see a lot of them that they look straight up. Well, it could just be that because programs are really advanced with paintbrushes. So I don't know if maybe at a certain point in Naruto, that's when the industry changed and it became standardized that you really got to use these tablets or something, or been more preferred, because the only one, like, to my knowledge, that doesn't really have to adhere to any of that shit is Yoshihiro Togashi, creator of Hunter x Hunter. So yeah, that must have influenced a lot of things as well with Naruto, because he was probably like, bro, I want to just do things my way. And then you saw the change in Naruto's art style, and people argue that it lost a lot of its grit and passion when it went from that kind of more complex art style to just kind of, you know, a little bit simplistic. Samurai 8 Hachimaru then combines samurai with science fiction. I love science fiction and samurai, so I want to draw manga about those themes, but considering my age, it's getting unreasonable to throw myself into manga like that, so I decided to combine the two themes into a single work. Kishimoto revealed that the very first manga he submitted to Shueisha was also a samurai story, although it didn't win any prizes. This manga is kind of a revenge for that, he said, laughing. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it seems as though this man has a bucket list. You know, towards the end of Naruto, he redid that one shot he did a while ago, Mario. And Mario was really good, might I add, but maybe, like, this has been his bucket list. Maybe if Mario would have done better, maybe it didn't pull too well or something like that, but maybe had Mario done better, that's where he would have gone, or maybe that was an idea he always wanted to use. So if that's the case, then probably he's going to put a lot into it, and who knows, maybe it worked out for the best, because at the end of the day, I remember that Naruto was originally going to be more like wizard type, like Harry Potter, think like Black Clover, kind of like that. So the fact that it didn't go that way, you know, Naruto turns into what it became, and maybe it wouldn't have. Maybe it was too soon. If Naruto would have came out at that time, maybe with Harry Potter being in big pop culture, it might have not worked out in the US, because people probably would have looked at it as, oh, it's a manga or anime ripoff of Harry Potter. That's how people, that's just how they are. And Black Clover came out long after Harry Potter already, you know, the books died down. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a huge fan base, but it's not a mainstream pop culture like it once was, so Black Clover doesn't have to face that scrutiny. Even early on, it didn't really face any of that scrutiny of like, oh my god, it's too much like Harry Potter, because people are already like, okay, that's a thing. A lot of people use magic and stuff like that. It's not, you know, like Harry Potter invented it. Kishimoto indicated that Samurai 8 Hachimaru will probably be less accessible than Naruto was because it opens with several pages of jargon, although he has done his best to make it digestible. If you're a new artist, I wouldn't start out with sci-fi, but I thought that I'd have more leeway coming straight off Naruto. That's interesting that he knew one of the criticisms that we all had, and this was taking place, this interview took place before the manga was released to the public or whatever, so he didn't have that access to say, okay, let's see what the fans have. All he had was, to my knowledge, you know, again, the people at Shueisha and Jump and stuff like that, which, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they put a lot of care and a lot of eyes looked at this manga before launch, and they have a very long-term plan for this if they're planning on keeping it around. But he knew that it was going to be criticized for being very like, holy cow, there's a lot of stuff going on, because yeah, that's what the reaction was. Well, there was a mixed reaction. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge fan so far. I really enjoyed chapter 1, but you know, some people might have felt like, oh, it's too much, whoa, what's going on? As for the reason why his former assistant Okubo has joined the art for this new manga, Kishimoto explained that when it comes to a weekly serialized manga, it's impossible to draw all of it by oneself. At some point during the serialization of Naruto, Kishimoto started drawing his outlines for each chapter with the help of Okubo. That's really very... wow. Hold on. Yeah, I know that was a tongue twister of, yeah, quite a few words. But, so he says that he realized that it was impossible to draw manga by yourself somewhere in Naruto. That shows that these mangaka, they're very cognizant, they're very aware of, at the very least, that, yo, this is not right, this is impossible. How do you have, like, you know, one guy with a small team handling this much work to the point of, like, look at Eiichiro Oda, 20 hours a day, 21 hours a day drawing One Piece, you know? So they're very aware that this doesn't make sense as far as, like, they're destroying their bodies, and he realized, and that's why he came back, and he's like, bro, okay, I got one of my dudes, just like he left one of his assistants that was working with him on Naruto since like chapter 7. He left him in charge of Boruto. And then with this one, it's like, okay, he took this guy and he's like, oh, come draw this one with me while I write it. So Kishimoto, kind of a different type of mangaka if you think about it, almost an entrepreneur, so to speak. He also said, it's hard to admit this frankly, but Okubo's art is so good that in my heart, I can't help but admit defeat. So seemingly Okubo, at the very least, in Kishimoto's, which I don't know. Honestly, I seen the outline, and Kishimoto's art is pretty freaking fire. I think he's kind of selling himself very short. When asked how Samurai 8 Hachimaru then will be more interesting than Naruto, Kishimoto said, I thought about it a little while working on Naruto, but I'm more socially conscious now, and I would like to put that into my next manga. He also said that one of the themes of the manga will be, it's okay to be imperfect. I mean, if you look at Naruto, that was kind of a theme in and of itself as well. The fact that Naruto was hated, he was terrible at ninjutsu and overcame that, so I guess that's one thing. With Samurai 8 though, the difference is that, like, if you look at Hachimaru, he does look really messed up, you know what I'm saying? So, and in this sci-fi samurai world, it's probably gonna put him at a major disadvantage, the fact that he's, you know, kind of a bit disabled. I know it's a contradiction for me to say I want to draw the perfect manga only for it to have the theme, it's okay to be imperfect, but it was Naruto's imperfections that motivated me to draw my next manga, and when this one ends, the imperfections will inspire me to draw the next one after that. So he's planning on drawing after this one. He's not nailing it in the coffin like, yo, this is my last series, that's cool. I mean, that's also showing that, hey, if it doesn't really pan out the way they are planning and Samurai 8 doesn't blow up, then we could just jump ship and Kishimoto could try something else. As for how long this new manga will be, Kishimoto has no inkling. Let's just go with 10 volumes for now. I remember saying one time that Naruto would be 15 volumes. It always ends up being longer. So he said he'd go with 10 being the minimum right now. Okay, about 100 chapters, that's 2 years. That makes me wonder, because I really thought like he was coming in and it was all nailed in the coffin. Hey, it's all set in stone, I got this. But maybe he is, maybe he probably has like, who knows, maybe he has like a year's worth of manga already, like concept-wise, drawn up. And now it's just up to Okubo to redraw it every day. That'd be interesting. That would be a great way to bring Tite Kubo back. Who knows, maybe if Naruto ended in 2014 and is just coming back now, maybe Bleach or a new series with Tite Kubo, assuming he does ever come back to drawing manga, can come with something else in another couple of years. Maybe, who knows, whatever went down at Shonen Jump, maybe tensions and stuff like that will have faded and Tite Kubo can return. And yeah, very interesting interview. Kind of curious what you guys think about it though. What do you think about Kishimoto saying it's going to be, because that's the biggest thing of this all, honestly. Like, I didn't emphasize it enough, but him saying that 10 volumes for now, that means at the very least we're getting 2 years. But it seems as though like a lot of these veterans that are, you know, coming back, Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima, they're not just coming back and doing little shorts and leaving. It's probably because they had that hiatus, and opposed to taking the complete hiatus, they drew every freaking day and had concepts set up. I mean, you can't go too far, because at the end of the day, the reader polls do have to have a reflection at some given point. So if you draw like 50 chapters and by chapter 20 this idea is like dying and no one gives a crap about it, then you kind of have like 30 more chapters that you need to throw away. So I don't know how far I guess it would be, or how smart it'd be to go that far in advance. You probably have to go maybe have like about 20 chapters, 20, 30 max, set up beforehand would be the best. Not too far, not too short, because then it gives you time to be thinking. And by, you know, the time, let's just say chapter 10 or 15 is released, then okay, boom, now I know where I should go. Should I keep going? Should I change some of these things, slowly integrate into a new idea, something like that. And again, your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of Samurai 8. I'm glad that Masashi Kishimoto's back with new work, and you know, Boruto's been heating up recently. The manga has been getting better and better, and now Samurai 8 coming through. It's going to be interesting when we get the next Boruto chapter to have Samurai 8 and Boruto at the same day competing against each other. I don't know, I heard there's a rumor Boruto's on break this week, but yeah, but that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit the bell to get all notifications. I'd greatly appreciate it. You know, YouTube be wildin' lately. I don't get them. I would really like for y'all to be able to get the videos. And if you want more from me, links in the description below. I'm Forever World, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music though. Hold on, let me play y'all a little something. Make sure your next move is your best move. Feeling small, but I guess less. But always remember, no matter the weather, I was October through to September. Whenever you needed, whatever you needed. Every girl hated is how you were treated. Gave you the town, gave you the city. No one would do what I did with a pity.